Hello everyone, welcome to Opposite Stock. My name is Mark. In today's video we're going to take you out for a run in these two very special Renaults. We're very fortunate to have both of these cars in stock at the moment. We've got a 2009 R26R. This car's done 51,000 miles. It's in fabulous condition. And to my left we have a Renault Sport 300 Trophy R, one of 32 UK cars, 9,000 miles from new, and we thought it would be really interesting to do a wee video and kind of compare the two, with one being the older sibling of the other. These are both very much track focused offerings from Renault, and they're about as extreme as hot hatches come. So we'll take them out for a little spin and you can come along and join us. So the car we have here is a 2009 Megane R26R. It's a very rare machine these days. They were produced between 2008 and 2009 and represent the most hardcore of hardcore hot hatches. There was believed to be around 159 UK supplied cars, but there aren't any actual verified numbers on that, and I imagine there's a few less now, given how a lot of these cars were used and taken on track and driven very hard. This particular car is in a very rare colour of Nimbus Grey, which you'll recognise from the Megane Trophy of that era, which only came in Nimbus Grey. But on an R26R, it's a very, very rare colour. I believe there's only a handful were made worldwide in this colour. So, particular bits that to point out and what makes this car different. It has a full carbon bonnet. It has plexiglass rear windows, and on the back it has some very, very aggressive Sabelt bucket seats and harnesses, and it has just been, designed with one thing in mind: no compromised track performance. So it's very light, it's very stiff, and it's an absolute riot to drive. This car as well also has been remapped, and we have a dyno printout on the file. So the standard car made 227 brake horsepower. This one is now producing 268 brake horsepower, which makes quite a big difference, I can tell you. Welcome to the inside of the R26R. Now, it's 2 degrees outside, and we are on Toyo Proxy's 888Rs, so we're going to have to take it reasonably canny, because this is not the conditions for this car. But we'll take you out, give you a wee spin, try and explain as much as we can about the car and how it feels. So as I said previously, very limited run car. 159 UK units is the best guesstimate. They're very hard to come by these days. A lot of these cars are tucked up in collections because of what they represent. They represent the most hardcore of hardcore hot hatches that's potentially ever been made by any manufacturer from factory. It is absolutely uncompromising in every single way, focused on pure track performance. So it's very different to a normal R26 or your general run-of-the-mill hatchbacks are nothing like this thing. This car is really for the absolute purist and someone who wants something that's rare and very, very capable on track. So what we have is a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, limited slip diff. We have a weight saving of, I think it's about 120 kilos over a normal R26. These seats are really, really snug. Like, if I put on another half a stone, I'm not fitting in these. They are serious bucket seats. There's no seat belts. You have to use these harnesses. And that immediately gives you the feel that you're in something very serious indeed. Now, one of the things that immediately hits you once you start getting up to speed and start moving is just how raw this thing is. It rattles and it buzzes and it just vibrates with energy. You know, it's not a car that I'd want to use as a daily driver. Absolutely no chance. It's something that, as I say, is built for one purpose, and that's track use and maybe, you know, some B-road bashing on a nice warm summer's day where you won't find another hot hatch like it anywhere. We're just going to try and find a decent road with some corners on it. We're being very selective today as to which roads we use because of the salt on the roads. So we're trying to find some that have had less of a covering, which will obviously wash the car as soon as we get back, but you know, I still don't want to get it covered in salt if I can avoid that. So the weight of this car is just over 1,200 kilos, and it feels really, really light. As I say, it feels like it's got no sound deadening. It feels like it's got no, feel that boost. It just feels so nimble. It's very, very fast with that remap. 268 horsepower doesn't sound like much, and it isn't in today's world, but when you pair that with such a light machine, it gets up and goes, this thing, it really does. We have no grip whatsoever. Doesn't want to grip in third. So you get onto a good B road like this one, and the first thing that shines through is the steering feel is beautiful. This car has old school hydraulic steering, and it's just gorgeous in your hands. You can feel exactly what those front tires are doing. Now on a day like this, we can't put the power down because we just have no grip, and in order to get any heat into these tires, we'd probably need to drive in a way which maybe wouldn't be that sensible. But I can tell you that, you know, on a dry road, on a dry day, the steering combined with outrageous front end grip, I mean, this car turns in like nothing else. And that's where its crazy track performance comes from. It just, you can lean on that front end so hard without worrying about, you know, wash and wide and understeer. It's just like a limpet. It's glued on at the front. Now you need to be careful when you're pushing it as hard as that, because a mistimed lift of the throttle will get that rear end rotating quite quickly, which again is good fun, but it will catch you out if you're not careful. It's really quick, this car. I love this thing. It's bloody fantastic. Even in the wrong conditions, it's just so much fun. Oh, this road looks so slippy. Gear change is brilliant. It's very accurate. It's a lovely throw. Very positive. You know, you know exactly where you are with that gearbox. But as I say, the overall lasting impression is just this incredible rawness. You know, it's not that comfortable. The seats are so extreme that, you know, you would end up with a backache if you sat in this thing for too long. But you're not going to move, and if you've thrown it around a racetrack, you're going to be very secure. This car has a Miltech exhaust system, which sounds great. There was an option of a titanium exhaust system from new, which this car no longer has, but this Miltech system sounds great, and when the car gets warm, it starts to get really vocal on the overrun. It starts to, you know, popple and spit and crack a little bit here and there, which is nice because it's not a synthetic noise like these modern hot hatches and Golf R's and Mercedes A45s and all that have this really, you know, fake crackles and pops and all the rest of it. This is not that. This is pure mechanical symphony is how I would describe it. Brake feels excellent. Even though the brakes on this car are probably half worn, they feel really progressive. Lovely bite, lovely feel. You know, driving this car, I actually, because I haven't driven it much, but I'd love to take this on a track day. If it doesn't sell by the spring, we'll maybe take it for a day out at Croft, because what a laugh it would be. So a lot of people have described the R26R as essentially a front-wheel drive 911 RS, and I can see that comparison so easily. To me, it's like a 996 RS. It's the real raw, pared back race car with number plates feel. No compromises, and you know, they don't make cars like this anymore, and that's why values are strong, and values will continue to be strong, because this is one of a kind, and we won't see its likes again. So now we've seen the R26R, we're going to look at its younger sibling here, the Renault Sport Trophy R. These cars were launched in 2019, and a similar kind of ethos, you know, very limited run, very lightweight. I believe that the Trophy R saved 130 kilos over the standard Renault Sport Megane of the same era, and they've done that through obsessive details, such as, again, we've got a carbon bonnet, we've got thinner glass, we've got no rear seats and harnesses, some fabulous bucket seats in there. This car also has an Akrapovic exhaust system, and it has a couple of lovely modifications done by the previous owner in terms of a CAE shifter, which makes it feel every bit the touring car for the road, and it also has some Powerflex engine mounts as well, which are a good upgrade for these, especially if you're going to take them on track. So let's take it out for a spin. So now we're just setting off in the Renault Sport 300 Trophy R. I have to say, immediately after being in the R26R, this is a lovely place to be. There's so much more room. These seats are so comfortable. They genuinely are one of the most comfortable bucket seats that I've experienced. They feel like you could drive for days on end in these things. They feel like they're supporting me in just the perfect places. And we've got the luxury of seat belts. So although the car has harnesses, you can also just have seat belts if you're on the road, which is nice, because you can't do that in the R26R, which can be a bit of a headache. So again, we'll take this car, we'll let it warm up a little bit, we'll go on the same route, and we'll see what it's like. So as I say, that it's this car immediately feels that little bit more sort of grown up and civilized. Although it's still a very, very focused car, it feels like a car you could genuinely daily drive if you wanted to. As I say, it's comfortable, it's very usable, it's easy to drive. So this is the type of car that could be a daily driver and a track day toy at the same time. Whereas the R26R really is so focused that you wouldn't want to daily drive that. Now, I really like this CAE shifter upgrade that was done by the first owner. It just feels great in your hand. What an upgrade that is. And you know, I say, it gives that sort of touring car feel. Your hand's in a lovely position up here on this long lever, and it makes that gear change feel even shorter and crisper than it does with the standard sort of plastic shift knob. So that's a phenomenal upgrade. I love that. It's all starting to wake up there. Now this car's not running on quite as extreme a tyre as the R26R. This is on Conti Sport Contact 7s, which are actually one of my personal favourite road tyres. They work fantastic in all conditions. So this car feels like it's got a bit more grip initially, just in these cold conditions. Suspension is firm, it's Öhlins suspension, but it feels very nicely damped. There's a lot of control. It's quite confidence inspiring. Now, the steering on this car is not hydraulic. This is now electric power steering. And you can tell there's just that it's not quite the same level of kind of granular feedback as there is in the R26, but it's still very, very nice. It's nicely weighted, it's feelsome, it's accurate, it's everything that you want from a car this focused. Now, this is also a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This one produced 300 horsepower from factory. I'm going to say I don't think there's very much in it between the two of them in terms of straight line performance. Obviously the R26 is slightly down on power compared to this, but it's also a bit lighter. I think there's about 100 kilos in it. And I would say that in a straight line there's very, very little between these two. Again, the front end feels really sharp on this thing. You know, it's up on its toes. It feels like that front end is very, very trustworthy. You can throw it in and you know it's going to give you grip. You know, you can tell that the two cars share the same DNA. They have a similar kind of dynamic feel to them. So the major difference is, I would say, this car is newer, it's more usable, it's a lot more comfortable, mainly just due to the seats and seat belts, to be honest with you. This steering wheel's lovely, it's Alcantara, especially on a cold winter's day, it feels great. The brakes are, you know, mighty in both cars, to be honest. But I know that, I think around a racetrack, this would probably show the R26R a clean pair of heels. But I don't think there would be a huge amount in it, to be honest with you. You know, they're both seriously impressive cars, really impressive. And I would be delighted to personally own either of them, to be honest with you. They feel really special. And if you're into your front wheel drive stuff, they don't come much better. See, we've got that bit more grip. It's still trying to spin its wheels up in 3rd and 4th gear there, but it feels good. It feels really good. The weight saving measures that Renault went to with this thing are quite hilarious. They were on this absolute mission to strip weight from the Megane Renault Sport, and you know, they did that with thinner glass and fancy carbon bonnet and various other bits and bobs. But they also, apparently, they put this small screen multimedia system in it rather than the more up-to-date big screen that you could get in Meganes of the same era. So the multimedia system is quite limited, but apparently they did that to save weight, because what I've read is this small screen unit is 250 grams lighter than the big screen unit, and that's the reason that they put it in this car, which is quite hilarious, really.